Make sure. Make sure. Check umas ideias. Nice. I should. Come on, Phil. Come on. Kisha baba.
Kisha kweli kweli. Kisha kweli kweli. Kuna chance ya kushinda.
Make sure. Rusha. Make sure. Tulivu. Mpe chance. Short service. Short service. Sana nikupigie. Unajua tukampigia mbele hizi. Just kama wewe kwake mwai kwenda Kama unasema chance hiyo.
Make sure to
ABDULLAH.
Kwa makini na jibu.
Yes, ndio. Ngoja nione sasa. Ngoja nione.
Shoot. Kia tatu mbele, kaa mbele Short. Make sure. Nzuri sana. Kuna resistance. Basi ni moja.
Ndio.
Microphone check.
Basi ni moja.
Shika mazingira.
Nina mambo mengi.
Microphone check.
Make sure. Sawa. Nuna Abdullah, tumetukana sana. Nuna.
Aisha tuseme. Kambere goli tano msema mzima.
Roho yako ya simba. Ya nyoka.
Wewe ni mzani, wewe uko katikati. Wewe ni mzani.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On the very last day of the month of March in 2025, it is the Tuesday. It is a Tuesday on the 31st of March here at MCHANA PUB-NAIROBI, one of the most, if not the most renowned pool playing avenues in the country of Kenya. Money match action, battle action, professional gambling. It is the Tanzanian player Abdullah Hussein who is donning the white of Tanzania, taking on the South African who is donning on the color that looks like pink or orange or anywhere in between. It's called ISHMAEL. These two are red, and it is for a consequence of US dollars. Once again, we are at the MCHANA PUB-NAIROBI, just alongside Ngong Road, opposite Plaza. In the heart, the third time that they are facing off these two, with the first two times both being won by the Tanzanian, that is Hussein. The first match was played about 1 week ago at a venue that is called Jamlock Sports Center in Machakos by 21 frames to 19. It was won by Hussein. It took ISHMAEL. It was surprised, so he had to stake back, this time with a bigger pot of 4,000 US dollars. Just exactly 3 days ago, same table, that match was won by Hussein again, but ISHMAEL remained insistent that he has got more than what it takes to take Hussein down, and these two players know that they are to take each other on for 5 times until maybe one of them says, I bow down. So far, none of them is willing to, and this one is the third between them, with 9 frames played, with frame number 10 happening now, with Abdullah Hussein of Tanzania leading by 4 frames to leads by 5 frames to 4. Those that are watching from Break and Finish Live Facebook as well as Peter Chuba Live YouTube, you have sight of the scoreboard at the top left of the screen, which has scores for Hussein in red and scores for ISHMAEL in green. While those that are watching from Channel Pool Club YouTube, you have a digital scoreboard below your screen as well, agreeing that Hussein leads by 5 frames to 4. This match is expected to take just about 3 hours or so. Yesterday I did stream a race to 21 that took, was it 2.5 hours between ISHMAEL and the Tanzanian, that is Amadeus. As for yesterday's races, ISHMAEL won against Amadeus, while Hussein lost. Hussein lost against Malawi's Stanford Bevan Ginte in what was the third and last race of the day. Today, we want to beg your apologies. We apologize 3 matches, but maybe we could be having 2. The 2 were advertised to be happening at the same time. Besides the one that you are watching, there was supposed to be action happening between Amadeus Makidzek of Tanzania to take on the Kenyan, that is Kelvin Yegon, for 1,000 US dollars. Now, when the players were called to play, with them already at the venue, with their stake already submitted to myself, there came a little bit of disagreement when Amadeus for 1,000 US dollars pot, he's not racing to 21 unless Kelvin increases his pot. And Kelvin told Amadeus, you are a gentleman, let's go by what we agreed yesterday. So the reason the match is not happening is that Kelvin wants the race to 21 for 1,000 US dollars, while Amadeus demands that if it is 21, they have to increase the pot to 2,000 US dollars, and if it is race to 17, then that's when they play 1,000 pot. So we have disagreement. That match is so far off. But after this, we shall be having the last action of the day between the Tanzanian Steven Jackson to take on The Ugandan Ibrahim Sejemba racing to 21 for 2,000 US dollars. Thereafter, tomorrow we shall be having more arrivals. I believe that arrivals will as well be accompanied by departures, yes, because it is gambling. This there is gaining and losing money. So when what you have is done, you probably stop playing. If you still can, you can continue playing. It's a lot more expensive than you guys may actually imagine for these guys to have these matches in the first place. Now the arrivals for tomorrow at 8 p.m. East African time, I expect the Zambian international Kelvin Fikoti to arrive with Ethiopian Airlines. I also expect tomorrow afternoon the Ugandan lady Michelle to take over from Julie, who has won 6 out of 6 matches that have been happening between herself and Kenyan ladies so far. And then on Thursday, there'll be arrivals of 2 boys from Uganda, that is Jackson Asiku and Herbert Mukisa, to have some action, to utilize the Easter weekend when school program is temporarily closed in the country. Thereafter, early next week shall be the arrival of Jeremiah Naido with the Eshka Chimbwanda. Now those two are about to have their match happen. It is going to be live on QPixels Photography, Facebook and YouTube with Francis Mkwekwe. Eshka versus Jerry, racing to 21 for 3,000 US dollars from the Eshkaleta Pool Arena in Harare. Presenting to you the audio of the action that is happening at MCHANA Pool Club from the YouTube streaming platform of MCHANA Pool Club, as well as my own socials, Peter Chowe Live YouTube and Break and Finish Live Facebook. My name is Simon Peter Chowe. Abdullah Hussein 6 ISHMAEL.
Makinika Hussein, makinika. Sawa.
Nimekuelewa peke yangu. Mwenye nyumba nimekuelewa.
Makinika.
Mwenye nyumba hii nimekuelewa hiyo shule. Sisi sawa.
Ndio huyo Hussein, ndio huyo. Ndio huyo Hussein. Ndio huyo. Chance, man. Chance.
Na ubaya gani?
After a long fight of one frame, dear viewers, the 11th of them all has been won by Ishmael. It is 6 frames to 5. Ish up, racing to 21. Please keep me company. I do expect this one not to end until about just after 8 p.m. East African time. Thereafter, it will be Jackson Steven, the Tanzanian, to take on the Ugandan. That is Ibrahim Sejemba. For now, the match between Calvin Yegon of Kenya and Amadeus of Tanzania is off until further notice because the players are not agreeing to the race that was communicated earlier, with Amadeus demanding a race to 17 unless Yegon can increase the pot to 2,000 US dollars. And yet the pot that they went to bed knowing that they will be playing for is 1,000 US dollars, racing to 21. Here comes Ishmael playing to equalize in the match. He does believe that he can take down any of the Tanzanians with ease. He just doesn't know why Amadeus is giving him, and always does give him a very bloody nose. As a matter of fact, the table is open. The shot that was played last was only a free shot after a scratch on the break from Dula. Brian Colgate, I promise you, the Jackson who is going to play against Ibra is not Jackson of Chelsea Football Club. This one is a different Jackson. I want to beg your pardon and thank you for the correction. It is 5 for Ishmael and 6 for Abdullah Hussein. Also watching the action at the venue are the majority of the Snipers team. Of course, they will be supporting Dula for this one. He's the most popular of them all. I did not realize this until today, and for me it is very understandable. As much as I could have understood that Ishmael may have wanted to put both yellow and red, leave the table open, now he's playing yellows, and given the position of the reds, he will know that if he doesn't finish off the frame now, perhaps Dula could, and is playing well enough to make me believe that perhaps he will, with now 5 yellows on the table. The tricky one of them all is the one that is close to the bottom of the screen on the right, because it is in between 3 reds, and of the pockets it's close to none. Will give Ishmael easy cue ball. He's going for sharp cut to play the cue ball into the yellow. He cuts sharp, plays the cue ball into yellow, and plays it into space. A little unfortunate from Ishmael that another yellow, the one that is at the corner pocket top left, is played pretty much dead behind a red that occupies the corner pocket where it is closest. He will now have his work cut out, having 4 yellows on the table, but one of them will have to cause too much difficulty. Will he put the red at the corner pocket? Beautiful from the South African. In one moment, the frame is looking bad. In the very next moment, the frame is finishable. That is what separates men from boys. Ishmael on the table is a man. Now on the verge of winning the frame, which just seconds ago he looks to be on the verge of losing, just creating magic when a touch of magic would only do, with the South African now having to put yellow to the corner pocket bottom right, then black to the corner pocket bottom left. The shot has to be played with backspin, cue ball to move leftwards and backwards, just like that. The rest is a formality. Equalizer, ish 6, $6, rest to 21.
Kumi. Ya kwanza hiyo. Bado 4. Ya kwanza hiyo. Makinika sasa.
After losing the previous frame, after losing the lead that he has been having almost throughout the match, Hussein then won another and regained his lead in a match that could as well go down to the wire, just like the first two, both of which have been won by Hussein. And yesterday, maybe ISHMAEL is starting to get to the wrong end of the Tanzanians. He was just involved in a video where he was mocking them in a joking way, but also can mean to be a very serious way, when he said that he wants to beat them until he dries up their monies, dries up their pockets, speaking to their team manager live on video. He also said that if they are done with their money, they can stake their car, because as long as they don't have money and they have their team car, that car is money. And says if they don't want money, he's beating their car.
Short sana. Hii imeenda. Makinika sasa. Makinika.
And after the match started, now after the cancellation of the match between Yegon and Amadeus, they have suggested about 10 minutes ago that the stake that was to be on Amadeus be put to this match on Dula against ISHMAEL. But I couldn't. It would be unprofessional of me to discuss with the players the potential increase of the pot in the middle of the match. It's just not professional, because the game is a mind game. Anyway, ISHMAEL has reminded Dula that he has sight of the red knots and wants to put it. Cue ball with the backspin to go backwards just around the middle of the table, and the rest is a formality. Hopefully he has not gotten himself snookered. Maybe not a formality it is. He may have to have a little curve of the cue ball around the yellow, just a little. That will do. Perhaps he played straight with a little cheat of the pocket and wins the frame. And now Dula extends his lead yet again. 6 and Dula 8. My special thanks to our Facebook audience watching from Break and Finish Live, like Garfield Morunga. Yeah, it seems you're supporting Dola. I think Ishmael that cannot beat him today. Let's wait and see. And then they're ever laughing Rachel Mbewe, who has forgotten how to speak Chinyanja. Msizimbele on the Arthur Tamoka. Thank you for watching. Must be that one from Zimbabwe. Colin Ziamba. You think Ishmael is scared? And playing touch sometimes. Ram Ramal. Thank you for watching. And you say anyone to bring Ginte close can get goosebumps. You say Rachel Mbewe, and you laugh it away. Mona Aristophael, thank you for watching from Break and Finish. What can Ishmael do here? Today he knows that he has all his work cut out. He came so confident in the first game against Dola when he lost after coming heavily from behind to equalize. And then Dola won the last two frames to take the victory. Even in the last frame, the last match that the two faced off against each other 3 days ago. So Dola lead almost throughout the match. Ishmael had to use a lot of power, a lot of energy, a lot of brain work simply to equalize. But when he equalized, Dola ran away again with a number of consecutive frames, including the 21st. That is a combined total of a pot of $7,000 US to the same person. Ishmael truly will not want to stand this. He has sight of the red on the left, wants to put it to the corner pocket top left, have the keyboard bounce off the cushion. It avoids the yellows. And there we go. He has full sight of the red, but cannot put it with any kind of ease. It can clearly not pass into the center pocket on the right. Maybe he has to cut it by diagonal play to the corner pocket bottom right. The cue ball in its natural movement may have to be bounced off the top two cushions. It could as well be played into the yellows. And misses only just. He also came close to putting the cue ball. But now the chance is for the Tanzanian, the sniper, Abdullah Hussein. There he goes. Amidst chants from the Tanzanian fans at the venue. They know that frames like this normally takes away. He also, in quotes, guards the black ball, plays it towards the top end, where most of the balls that side of the table are his own yellows. Solomon, great, thank you for watching. You say from YouTube that Ishmael can never win against Dola, no matter how many times they play. Come on, Solomon. They've just played 14 frames out of potentially 41, so it can still go anybody's way. Both of them are capable of winning a number of consecutive frames and then take away the match. Jobu, you're following Kenny from Mombasa in Kenya. Thank you for watching. And Biokempu, you're asking what about the exposer. Moses Sanet, you say Ishmael has really promoted Kenyan pool and with Ginte twice in the space of perhaps 2 days. Then the Ugandans came following him. That was Ibra, Duke City, and Ian. Then Kasozi joined in. Now the whole of the Tanzanian snipers team joins in. Now even Eshka is coming, even Kelvin is coming, even Jerry is coming, courtesy of the Ishmael Foundation. However, Ishmael will probably be losing frame number 15. The cue ball naturally moves towards the top end of the table where the black is. And shots by Ray Rive. Dula has been getting them in throughout the tour with a lot of ease, just as he has done in this one. Hussein 9 and Ishmael 6. Damian watching from Malawi, thank you for watching. And Mentor J, you said Dula looks strong though. Yes, he's a very strong player. Brian Siloma, you said Ishmael now has lost more than $7K to this guy. True. And he will not want to make it 10K pot tonight, because that will be the case if this game for Ishmael doesn't end in victory. As Dula breaks frame number 16, getting closer to the halfway point of the match. I also thank you for watching. Lucky Lewis reminding us to like the video. Please guys do. Henry Lukobiza, you think Dula will win this one, but he cannot win against Kasozi. Yes, Kasozi has won against Dula 3 times. Yes, it is true. And yet Kasozi has lost against Ishmael 3 times. And yet Dula could win Ishmael for a 3rd time today. That is the irony of sport. If you beat someone and then that someone beats me, it doesn't mean that I cannot beat you. It's just like that. That's how it goes. Wanda Baku, you think Ishmael should leave Dula? He doesn't think so. That one I can assure you. Just as I see you. Thank you for watching, and of course others like Super Candino watching from Peter Chebe Live YouTube now. Combined number of viewership combined on Facebook and YouTube is now 1,300 some change with 15 frames played. Ishmael perhaps going for frame number 16, which will be a 7th for himself, needing to put just 2 yellows on the table to the corresponding corner pockets bottom right and top right, and black to the center pocket on the left. Should be his pattern of victory. And as he positions the cue ball for the last yellow, white is almost natural for black, but will drag it a little to move it to close proximity. We'll opt instead for the center pocket on the right. Was by way of break and finish. Ishmael 7 and Hussein 9. Dear viewers, you are watching an international money match that is happening for the 3rd time between the 2 players over the space of just a week, between Tanzania's ABDULLAH Hussein donning white and South Africa's Ishmael Mtetwa donning orange, racing to 21 for 3,000 US dollars here at MCHANA Pub and Grill alongside the Ngong Road opposite Prestige Plaza, Kilimani, Nairobi, Kenya, with frame number 17 being played, with Hussein having won 9 of the first 16 and Ishmael 7. The break can really mean to be very significant in these top class matches. You break dry, you lose. You break with a foul, you lose. You break and put, you win. You miss a ball, you lose. It is that simple. You scratch any time in the match, you lose. You get your pattern wrong, you lose. You get your pattern right, you win. How good will the pattern be here? His intention is to play yellow to the corner pocket top left first. The cue ball, if not played with backspin, could naturally be played into the red that is close to the yellow. That's why he's playing backspin instead. The cue ball to bounce a little off the right cushion. He instead plays relatively calmly, makes it easy, passes the cue ball in between yellow and red. And now we'll be putting the last yellow to the corner pocket top right, drawing the cue ball backwards to put black to the side pocket on the left. And the rest is a formality. He's down, he's not yet out. He still has the fight in him and the character and the determination. And yes, he wins the 17th. It is Ishmael now 8 and Abdullah 9. The chance for Ishmael now is not just to win the ongoing frame. Significantly, it is to equalize, have the scores level, and then perhaps start afresh in what could be a new race to 11. That is, if he wins this frame, most especially with his current visit of the table. Thank you for loving me. Straight out Gulu City, Caesar's home, Vincent Aboy. In the meantime, the last time I checked with Caesar's boss, that is the director of the ATA, Caesar is supposed to be flying out of the country tomorrow, heading to, I think, Bolton in the United Kingdom for the European Ultimate Pool Championships, where he was upgraded this year to participate in the Pro Series. That means he will be getting it a lot more difficult because he will be playing with some of the big boys, and yet thereafter he will be taking on another of the very biggest of them all that we have in the industry, that is the Welsh star Tom Cousins, in an international money match. This coming month. Part of the preparation of his was perhaps to come to Nairobi, have game time against some of these guys, but it was always going to be very tough, especially given the nick of time in which he had to reach home and then cross over to Nairobi, then cross to home again for his flight to the UK. The game time he had was him coming second in a four-man comp that was played in Kampala. A final that was raced to 21, won by Simon Lubola, the Ugandan computer. Now the South African die-hard could be winning this against the Tanzanian Dula by putting the last yellow on the table to the corner pocket top left. Perhaps the cue ball to be left at just around the same point where there is the yellow. Maybe play stop shot. He's going for a backspin. Cue ball is played a little backwards. In the end, it makes sense because maybe that yellow couldn't pass to the side pocket on the right because of presence of red. We'll want to put black to the side pocket on the right. He's miscued. Normally miscue misses the frame. It was just yesterday when I saw a very fortunate Ginte miscuing in a shot where he was playing black, but again getting to put the black and getting to win the frame. As for Dula, he is to take the easy pickings of an opportunity for ISHMAEL that has been really misused just by ISHMAEL forgetting to choke the tip of his cue stick just before taking a would-be critical shot. You can call Dula lucky here. I think when a player forgets to choke the result, they have themselves to blame.
Nobody.
Almost threw the cue stick onto the pool table. It will be very unfortunate fouling. Now he's safe and is going for a clearance that is getting back his 2-frame lead. And you get a feeling that should ISHMAEL lose this match, if the scores could be level, those are some of the moments that he could be looking back to. Then he will put the red that is leftwards first. It gives him pretty much natural white for the second red to the side pocket on the right. He really perfects these rail drives, balls like this many times. He will put them even with the eyes closed. Now simply needing to roll the last yellow. Cue ball to follow the red. It's a red, sorry, to follow it just a little as he puts now black to the corner, to the side pocket on the left.
Makinika.
Very good pattern play, very good game reading, and very good execution punishes ISHMAEL for miscuing in what will be the equalizing frame. It now turns into a lead extending frame for Dula. It's ISHMAEL 8 and Dula 10-21. Some other events coming up after this tour, which I think shall be getting to a close next week. I'll find myself having both the Eid and Easter celebrations in Nairobi after my stay in the place is having a forced leave because of abundance of action. It's abundant skill from ISHMAEL. The red clearly will not be passing into the center pocket on the right. He may have to. Will it pass? Will it go in off the yellow? Will he hitch at the pocket? At the end of the day, it was easier than it looked from my camera position. ISHMAEL takes the lead and pulls one back again. It is now 10 frames to 9. You put into context the fact that he miscued when he was on the verge of winning the previous. He could easily have been leading by now. After the tour in this coming month of April, maybe I could be doing a 2 local comps when I go back to Uganda. There is expectation of some big competitions in the months of May and June. In May, there is the ultimate team event that is called a team tournament that is being organized in Johannesburg in South Africa. I get to hear from the tournament coordinator, Francis Mkwekwe, that by close of business yesterday, 7 teams had registered. It is from Tanzania, Q Masters, then Big Kills, then Ghost Nation from South Africa, maybe another team from South Africa. Then MCHANA. Thereafter, in the month of June, there will be another tour. Players like Jerry, like Ibra, like Ian, like, of course, the Nigerian Shew, like Caesar, like Kelvin, will be making a tour of Nigeria. And this action that we are seeing today will be coming to you live from Lagos, the capital city of Nigeria, all that being organized by Big Kills, the new big boys in African pool. Here comes Ishmael. How good will his pattern play be? He may have to play with power, play the yellow he's looking at, then draw the cue ball backwards into the red for the red to be played into the two yellows. I'm not certain he may have used that well enough, but perhaps yes, because the red that is in the yellow that is in between the three is portable to the corner pocket at the top right. Maybe with the backspin drawing the cue ball backwards to put even the second yellow that is close, the one he's playing now. His pattern seems to be getting even better. It is now clear him wanting to put both yellows at the top end, and then the last yellow to the side pocket on the left, and leaves a beautiful cut between white and yellow, such that if cue ball bounces off the cushion, it is natural for the last yellow, which will be put to the center pocket on the left, with black positioned so well. Now this looks like the South African equalizing right at the midpoint of the $3,000 money match. A little roll, cue ball to follow the yellow, the pot of the black for the South African Zim will be a formality. With the 20 frames played, with the match now at halftime. Ishmael 10, Abdullah Hussein 10.
Customer ni customer. Uko wazi. Hata kuruka lakini lazima ingie. Yeye hajaipo ama duka maisha hapa haipata vizuri kwa wakati. Sisi hataki shughuli nyingine, tunakuachia huyo huyo.
Ndio. Haina ubaya wowote. Ubaya labda waje na sijui nani.
Lighter, one by one takes a family.
Pick up where?
The one thing that has not happened in this match so far, ever since the first frame, is that Ishmael has not led at all. A few times he has been drawing when the score was 10-10. He's also on the verge of drawing because the score is now 11-11. But now he stands a chance of leaving for the first time in the match if he wins the next frame. Race to 10, Ishmael 11 and ABDULLAH 11. I'm calling it race to 10, guys, because it's what it is. Otherwise, officially, it is a race to 11. Now later, in about 10 minutes, I will be imploring you to split your screen such that you can watch two matches at the same time. That is Eshka versus Jerry from Harare, as well as this. In both matches, the pots are the same and the races are the same. The other match is being streamed by the other media man whom I beat thrice in 3 races in 2 countries. In the meantime, 11-11 between the 2 players that are facing off each other for the 3rd time and the 2 players that are having the biggest spots they are playing since the start of the tour. It is the second $3,000 US pot, and in between the 2 3K pots was 1 4K pot. Their first 2 were both won by Hussein, who got his monies chopped off a little when he lost yesterday to Gente. Clearly, by the way, that match was an underperformance from both of the players. In my opinion, none of them played to their best. But then Gente won, having utilized his opportunities better, most especially at the start and then the end of the session. He can still put the red close to the black. Oops, he's going for the one that is to the side pocket, moving the cue ball leftwards. He has sight of the last red. I'm not so certain it is sight enough to put it. From his body language, perhaps he can put maybe the pocket at the corner pocket, top right, and the cue ball moves naturally, following the red a little as he puts black to the bottom left corner pocket. It will be the first time in the match that the South African is leading ISHMAEL 12 and ABDULLAH 11.
Sister.
He must make sure ABDULLAH, most especially after having ISHMAEL not just back into the match. Now it is the South African in the lead, and it throughout the course of the match for the first 22 frames, ABDULLAH was at worst drawing. Otherwise, almost throughout the match, he was leading. His pattern is quite better today. Throughout the course of his matches against ABDULLAH for the tour so far, he's not been leading by 23 frames. He's not only leading, the lead could grow here if he can put one of the reds. If he can maintain cue ball to put another, should be good to go. But a relatively difficult pattern here. Maybe the red that is towards of the two to be potted to the side pocket, but off one of the yellows in between the oops, maybe one of them can't pass. The one that is bottomwards also off yellow, and if he plays off yellow, the yellow could get worryingly close to the black. Is he going direct or off yellow? Goes direct and gets the target. Now needs to put the last red to one of the corner pockets, top either left or right, then move the cue ball off a few cushions to the position close to the black if he's on target, which he is not. Advantage ABDULLAH. A little bit of complacency from the South African. Another opportunity for the Tanzanian to equalize in the match. Abdullah Hussein now having to fight back. He needs to win 2 frames to regain the lead. He also needs to maintain the lead. He needs to fight for the $3,000. He will not want to stand it to lose 2 matches in a row, especially after winning the first 2 in a row, which made him, for the start, the most successful player of them all in the tour when it was just starting. That's really a strength of his, ABDULLAH. Those red drives, when the pockets look a little narrower, that is when Dula focuses the more. That is when he's more effective. He wants to put both yellows to the same center pocket on the right. The last one with just a little backspin, cue ball just a little backwards, just like that. The frame will be won by Dula. For Ishmael, he will be regretting the miss that gave Dula the chance, which chance Dula has taken, and with the open arms. Ishmael 12 and Dula 12. Frame 25 has gotten Ishmael make a ball and another, actually 2 yellows spotted and then 1 red, and an open table that has all of the balls on the table positioned well enough, whether the yellows, whether the reds, maybe the yellows for the fact that they are fewer and a little bit closer to the white. He's going for the frame and going for an apple. Any pattern will do. Dula knows what's about to hit him. He knows that Ishmael is on the verge of leading again in the match. And someone please update me on what is happening in Harare. I believe that Eshka and Jerry have now started. Special thanks to all that have been involved in this tour. The management teams of the players who are involved, just to ensure that these matches are happening. That is the MCHANA Pool Club management, the Jamlock Sports Club management, that is most especially Simba, we call him. It's called James Odede. That one whom you always hear say, you hear Ishmael chanting Simba ni moja. Of course, Roxbury from Uganda, the management team of Ibra Sejemba and Roxbury didn't only support Ibra, they supported me as well in this tour as Ishmael wins by break and finish. Also special thanks to Q Masters, sponsors of Kasozi, and now Kelvin, who should be traveling tomorrow. And then snipers that are traveling, Dula and the rest of the Tanzanian contingent into Nairobi. And of course the media personnel like the MCHANA Pool Club media crew and myself. Thank you very much, and not forgetting the players who make the action. Anyways, Ishmael 12, Hussein 13, Eshka 1, Jerry 0. Here comes the break. Fair break it is. The split of the balls is not as good as it was when Ishmael broke last. He will want to respond to apple with apple. He will not want to let Ishmael's lead grow. As for Ishmael, even in terms of facial expression, he looks calm. So many times when Dula is playing, you don't see the calmness on his face. But boy, oh boy, under any kind of pressure, he can deliver them good shots. He really had a poor show yesterday with so many frames where he came so close to winning and then he lost them to Ginte, and then some others where he simply was unlucky. He's playing reds now. Putting both red and yellow leaves him still in play. He needs to put a ball, connect red into red maybe play to the corner pocket top left, play the cue ball into another red, putting 2 balls of the same color in the same shot. I want to be certain the shot is very effective. unless he can put a ball. And now you look at the position of the yellows and you worry for Abdullah that shouldn't he finish the frame? Maybe ISHMAEL will. And if ISHMAEL led by 2 frames, it will start to look a little too dangerous for Abdullah. The Tanzanian Jackson Steven, who will take on Ibrahim Sejemba in the last match of the day, is at the venue, waiting, calm, relaxed. Ibrahim Sejemba is yet to show up, but he surely will. He wants to play connection, red into red, miss. The time it was played, it looked always like a miss. And like I said, for ISHMAEL, this one will be an opportunity you fancy he'll be taking with sportsmanship. That one I have to give him credit. But the guy, after winning, if he wins, he can mean to be a very great vibe. He's fun to see if he's winning. In fact, just for that, most of the MCHANA team, MCHANA group players, fans, managers, when they see that he could be winning the match, they just move close to the table just to see his celebrations, and all of them come naturally. Hussein 12, ISHMAEL 13, Ishka 2, Jerry 0. The yellow that is packed in the corner pocket bottom right will be potted first. Of course, it is the easier potted ball of them all. His cue ball manipulation skills can sometimes meant to be extra neat, like this one, simply needing to roll the last yellow. The white will be natural as that. As he goes for the last yellow, all he needs is to have full sight of the black, perhaps playing with a little backspin. He plays instead top spin and has full sight of the black, which he'll be putting to the side pocket on the right to set up a 2-frame cushion for the very first time in the match. The fighting ISHMAEL now leads with 2. It is Ish 14 and Abdullah 12.
Chance ni chance. Make sure relax in the game to make sure you yes. Sawa.
Makinika game hiyo. Ina haraka. Make sure kweli, make sure game. Chance ni make sure game.
ISHMAEL has to do something special here. Come off the cushion, play black off yellow. He almost got it into the center pocket. In the end of the day, it is a foul. End of the day, it is Abdullah's frame now to lose or win. 14 frames to 12. Just about to become 14 frames to 13 as frame number 27 gets close to a completion, with the last 15 frames now on the table. Cue ball will be pretty natural for the black. Just bounces off two cushions. And there we go. Optima tables can mean to be friendly as Abdullah wins a 13th out of 27. ISHMAEL 14 and Abdullah Hussein 13. Race to 21 for $3,000 here at MCHANA PUB, Nairobi. And necessarily so, we are having our first timeout of the match after 14 frames that have been played for an amount of time that is exactly 1 hour and 50 minutes. I think that is very good use of time. 27 frames, 1 hour 50 minutes. That is very good. I remember yesterday's match, the one that came first. The first 10 frames were played in more than 70, more than 100 minutes actually.
Yani sheria kama ni mashindano come on. Yani una haki kukataa na wanabadilisha kiwanja. Friendly game maana wanaona fresh. Lakini kisheria unakataa. Kwa hiyo tunakumbuka wale ambao walikataa
Sahihi. Abdullah, make sure. Ndoki baba kutukie tu. Sahihi. Sahihi kabisa. Make sure goal. Chatukie baba tondoke. Sahihi. Hakuna kumwaza. Make sure. Sasa haina kumwaza baba. Ndio nakujua hivyo. Haina kumwaza.
There we go, dear viewers. After now 28 frames of play, once again the scores are level. It is Abdullah Hussein 14 and Ishmael Mteta 14. It is now officially a race to 7. Huge shout outs to you, Terry Kaseba supporting Die Hard from the Facebook stream. Anthony Egesha, I think you see Ishmael can take down Jeng. Guy Muswete Gungayo. The match between Eshka and Jerry is live on Kipixel's photography, Facebook and YouTube. Tino Tenda Makanyi, you say Ganda is killing Eshka. All right. Why are you calling Zimbabwe the teapot country? Me, I love Zimbabwe a lot. Eh? They are my people. They are always nice to me when I get a chance to go there. Frame number 29 is voidly broken by Ishmael. He will get to break the same frame again. Mahomes Abias, you think Eshka won't reach 15 that side. Timothy Kasango, also thank you for watching. And Benso Augustine Moronga updating us. Now it is 4 frames to 2. Jerry is in the lead after losing the first 2 to Eshka. Duncan Kirui, thank you for watching as well. This time round, Ishmael gets to pot and make a ball, and the right ball. Clearly he will be going for the Reds here. The aim once again shall be to win the frame with his current visit of the table, which will be by break and finish if it does happen. After this, dear viewers, it is going to be Jackson Steve in Tanzania to take on Ibrahim Sejemba of Uganda, and that will be it for today. And then we wait for what tomorrow shall offer. I want to think there could be action involving Ibra tomorrow. Maybe the match between Kelvin Yegon that didn't happen when he was supposed to take on Amadeus as well. I think Amadeus or Sami, if not both, could be involved in action. And it has also been long since the 2 Ugandans, Ian and Dog City, have been involved. And there are lots of possibilities of each player taking on another. The games that are not happening so far are players between the same countries. Now the star of the show is this guy, donning orange. Ishmael in now what is an official race to 7, which I do believe shall be done in a maximum of 1 hour, because of the playing speed of these players and the fact that now I don't expect to have timeout, as after having gone out for the first time out after 27 frames with a maximum of 13 left. I believe they can go all the way till one of them gets 7 more. That will be victory confirmed. How good can Ishmael pattern his play here? He has sight of one or two of the yellows, maybe the one close to the cue ball to be potted to the diagonal corner pocket top left, maybe the one that is close to the corner pocket top right, also potable, maybe with a little backspin, maybe stop shot, such that he can pot the one that is close to the one top pot to the side pocket on the left. That is if stop effect on the cue ball is applied perfectly. It is the perfect pattern he's trying to maneuver here because of the one relatively bad ball, the yellow that is in between the three on the table now. He plays the cue ball into that same yellow, and I want to think has played well enough. We'll want now, I think, to put both yellows to the same center pocket on the right. If he does, we'll be on the verge of winning the frame, which will be him regaining his lead. Cue ball so close to the cushion, but he's okay. We want to put yellow and black now to corresponding side pockets, right and left. Yellow to the right, black to the left. The rest is a formality. Ishmael 15, Abdullah Hussein 14. Now the action that is in Harare is having Jerry lead by 3 frames to 5 against Eshka. There shall be a rematch of that action here in Kenya on Tuesday next week again for $3,000 racing to 21. Abdullah to break frame number 30, needing to equalize in for the second ball. The yellow break looks dry. A dry break it is. The way Ishmael has jumped out of the table. Of course, in the second consecutive frame, he will be going for the yellows. And of course, once again, he will want to win 2 frames in a row with the 2 apples, red and green respectively. The green apple is in the bag. The red apple is on the verge of following the green apple as he tries to contemplate a pattern that could take him into a 2-frame lead. The would-be bad ball of those he has on the table is the yellow close to the cushion at the bottom. Also now there is a little bit of a problem. I'm not so certain the 2 yellows can connect. I think, but he has played well enough. Although, given the position of those yellows, they were not going in. And now I can confirm that the Ugandan, that is Ibrahim Sejimba, has marked his arrival at the venue to take on Jackson Stephen in the second this ongoing one. There he comes, there he goes, there he plays. He's on the verge. If I were him that red he's looking at, I would play it to park at the corner pocket, just not to pot, just to become my insurance ball. But I'm not him. I'm just the commentator. I'm not the player. He's chosen the brave shot. He wants to go for the frame. I think it is a little too risky because of those 2 reds close to each other at the top right end of the table. He's going for a risk, which if he doesn't get it through, there's high chance he will be losing the frame, as Ishmael waits and hopes that something doesn't come through. When Dula maybe finally opts to play a big frame splitting shot later, that should play those 2 reds in space. It's the shot, it's coming. Not really. It involved too much skill. but not too much fortune and not too much luck. Now it is way more difficult playing a shot of that quality, putting the red at the corner pocket top left where he's having his body, the cue ball into the two reds close to each other. Maybe cue ball off the cushion, maybe play it with right spin. He's simply played normal and is now banking his chances on the bank shot. Play one of the reds off the cushion on the right, and then sink it into the side pocket on the left in the shot. Control the cue ball well enough to put another. If he does that, you would say that he'll be good enough for the equalizer. He went with too little power. Actually, the pot was on. The bank was bigly on target. For person, I think the mistake he did was take the risk, have the belief that he was going to finish that frame, and play under too much risk. The risk will not be paying off, at least for this ongoing frame. Once Ishmael had a 2-frame lead, he led by, I think it was 14 frames to 12. Hussein has been fighting back, but it looks like Ishmael is on the verge of once again gaining a 2-frame lead. He's one of the reasons why South African pool has been quite popular for the last at least 2 decades. He's one of those big boys that have gained huge respect throughout the continent, and will be putting the last yellow to the corner pocket top left. The cue ball naturally bounces off the left cushion, maybe into the red. If it's played into the red and then plays the red away, he can easily put black to the side pocket on the right, but has to be played with relatively enough power. Better still avoid the red and have the cue ball in space. Plays it to avoid the red, round the black. Will be going for the corner pocket at the top left for what will be his 2-frame leading score. There, Ishmael 16 and Hussein 14.
Don't worry. Abdullah said everything sorted in the board. So you. Ai, kila masambani kila. Making these boys. Nice to
right here in Nairobi. It is 16 frames to 14. Ishmael leading against Hussein, while in Harare it is 9 frames played. Jerry leading by 5 frames to 4 against Eshka. Both of the races are to 21-4. 3,000 US dollars just to enjoy the action. Any phone can do it, guys. Split your screen, then watch one match on Facebook, one match on YouTube. Both streams have both a Facebook and a YouTube stream. For some of the phones, it is an app that is called split screen. You can download it from where you buy your apps. For other phones, it is there inbuilt. So when you go to that app, split screen, you select an app at the top and app at the bottom. For instance, you can select YouTube at the top and Facebook at the bottom. Then you enter in your details and then you watch 2 matches at the same time. It is that easy on the same gadget, if that gadget is most especially a mobile phone. That is the only way in terms of watching these videos the mobile phone users can get one over the television viewers. And I will now be thinking, should Ishmael win this match, he will already be, I think he will be getting himself into profit in terms of count of monies won versus monies lost. Abdullah, irrespective of victory or defeat, even at the worst case scenario, even in defeat, if it does happen, will still be in profit, but little, because he will have won 2 matches and have lost matches. But one of the matches that he won of the 2 was a big pot that was for 4,000 US dollars. The second match between himself and Ishmael. This guy really understands those rail drives. I want it to, I like it when I watch him playing them. He's so good on those ones. For me, that is his best strength on the table. I see nobody matching him playing rail drives. And it's on a table that is not so much accustomed to. If I'm not mistaken, there is no single Optima table in Tanzania. Very good as he plays the cue ball into red, touching yellow. He can now win this frame and can win it now, as long as he puts 1 yellow to the side pocket on the right. Just that the cut between white and that red, I'm sorry I called it a yellow, it's a red. The cut may play the cue ball out of position. There is also the, in my opinion, necessary risk of putting the red by bank off the cushion on the right into the side pocket on the left, because it gives him natural white for black if the bank goes in. He seems to be going for the bank, goes for the bank and gets it in. One of those few times when these guys shoot pool as though they were listening to me. Abdullah Hussein has been down, but he's not yet out, because he's going to be winning the 31st frame out of a total of 41, which will be him getting close by 1 frame to Ishmael. And there he does win. Abdullah Hussein 15 and Ishmael Tetwa 16.
All good. See me now, fight.
ABDULLAH. Sahi sana. Make sure. Najua meza inatakaje. Shama Sampane. Come on, man. Come on, Mazambani. Come on, man. Come on, Mazambani. Only this game, Mazambani. Come on, man. Only this one, Mazambani. Only this one. Don't fuck around. Make sure.
Starting to look like the fight of frame number 32 has been a long fight. That fight could be on the verge of being won by the South African. He just played the same exact shot he really needed to play. Now he has to put yellow to the corner pocket bottom right, has to maintain sight of the last yellow. It's not an easy shot as easy as it does look. The cue ball may have to be played with too much power. Maybe play it bigly backwards, but moving leftwards. Maybe even bounce it off the right cushion and then move it all the way leftwards with big top spin off the right cushion with full sight of the yellow. He may perhaps want to put both yellow and black to the same corner pocket bottom right to record what will be his 17th. He's not played the cue ball well enough, but can still cut the black sharply. It has to be a very sharp cut, has to be aware of the cue ball. It could go to the corner pocket where there is the red. Plays it in the red. The red stops the movement of the white. The frame is won by the South African. It is now ISHMAEL 17 and Hussein 15. Nathan Mugisha is asking which next money match it is going to be. Jackson Steven, if you remember the Tanzanian that defeated Joseph Kasozi in Dar es Salaam, yes, he's going to be taking on another Ugandan, Ibrahim Sejemba, later today. He also seated close to me. When he had me telling you that he defeated Joseph Kasozi, he took a big smile as he's enjoying his water, waiting for his match that should be coming in maybe the next 30 minutes or so. Dr. Ndu reminding us, for the love of the game, one viewer, one like, as we are way in our hundreds, but the likes are way less. Please guys, like the video wherever you're watching from. Channel Pool Club Break and Finish Live, Peter Chebe Live, please like the video. And Brian Kurgat, thank you for watching. With now a maximum of 9 frames to play. Of the 9, ISHMAEL needs to win 4. Hussein needs to win 7. Actually, a maximum of 10. And if he has to win, he must get his attacking play right. There have been a few times of suspicion for Hussein today. A match that is being played though at a top class level. By the way, all of the 3 matches that these guys have played have all been played at a really top class level. One thing that ISHMAEL has changed today that he didn't do the last 2 times that they faced off is realizing Hussein's very good attacking pattern, and then ISHMAEL goes defensive right from the break today. He's saying that Hussein, I have to show you that I can beat you at your own game. That is the offensive game. But it's not yet done, because this one now, after Hussein putting yellow, playing the cue ball into another yellow, he's now playing 3 yellows in space and could be taking the frame away. If he plays yellow, the cue ball could be played into red close to the cushion to hamper the movement of the cue ball. He avoids the red but moves it all the way once. He still can take the frame away. Of the 2 reds now, the one that is rightwards can be sunk to the side pocket on the right, simply rolling it normally for him to have perfect position for the last yellow to the corner pocket bottom left. He doesn't have to go for bank, he simply has to roll it, I believe, from my camera angle, unless he doesn't have full sight of it to play it wholly, maybe, which is the case now, because it will be obvious he has to put to the side pocket. Now he's contemplating playing yellow, maybe off red into the corner pocket bottom right. Maybe the yellow can pass, I'm not so certain. Does he have to use the red to support his movement? He goes direct and gets the pot. This is quite accurate. The pocket looked so narrow, being narrowed by the position of two of Ishmael's red, but Abdullah still has in him, needing to put the last yellow to the same corner pocket he has spotted the previous, then bounce the cue ball off two cushions, that is the bottom cushion and the left cushion, then moves the cue ball all the way upward such that he can pot black to the center pocket on the right. He pots off two cushions all the way upwards, and the rest is a formality.
Make sure, stroke. Short baba. Dogo mdogo. Anachoka yeye. Hizi baba kama kule. Kama kule rula.
Ever since Ishmael took a 2-frame lead, he's been allowing Abdullah to come within 1 frame, and then Ishmael extends further and gains his 2-frame lead. That is what seemingly is about to happen now again. And it looks to be set to win frame number 34 and win it by break and finish. As long as he can put the yellow he's looking at to the corner pocket at the top left, then bounce the cue ball off the top cushion, move it further down. It will be very easy pattern he will have to contemplate to win his 18th, such that he can need to win 3 out of about 7, perhaps 8, to stand a very good chance of regaining 3 of the 7,000 pot that Abdullah has taken from him so far. The South African is opting to play yellow to the corner pocket bottom left first. The cue ball has to bounce off the cushion a little, round another yellow, not to his liking, but will be okay, because the yellow that is leftwards in space is portable to the side pocket on the left, but is choosing to put both yellows to the same corner pocket with one yellow with cue ball going around the other, and he leaves some cut between white and yellow, such that he simply needs to roll it to the corner pocket, maybe have the cue ball bounce off the cushion, guiding it close to the black. In this kind of position, even Francis Mokwekwe can pot. And now, with 34 frames played, it is Ishmael Mtetwa 18 and Abdullah Hussein 16. Also, Jeremiah Naido 8, Eshka Chimbwanda 4. Frame 35, almost a scratch by Ishmael. He almost sprayed when the white was hitting into the jaws, as though the prayer was heard by the Almighty. The white was not sunk. He has once again a 2-frame lead. At now the business end of the match, he needs to win 3, while his opponent needs to win 5 out of the remaining 7. The South African gets to close the table. Ishmael is on the reds. He will be worried with the situation at the top end of the table, where he has a red so close to yellow and black, perhaps in between the two, and another red so close to the cushion on the right. And you look at the position of the yellows, which are now Ishmael's yellows, you get a feeling, sorry, the yellows are Abdullah's yellows, and clearly what will work for Ishmael is win the frame and win it now by break and finish, or else risk losing it and then have his lead cut to 1 yet again. That is very good game reading. Never did I see that coming. All he needed was to make a ball. It's just that the resulting position of 3 reds in relation to white will not be in his favor whatsoever. But he's a very imaginative player, this guy. He gets to play red into another with the sharp cut, still gets to pot. Starting to make it look a little bit likely that he could win the frame now. This time he misses, and misses big. The Tanzanian fans are chanting Dula on to fight as hard as they can, try and take away this frame. It's still a very winnable match. A 2-frame lead is quite little, especially when you're playing level is as good as Abdullah, who only after playing 3 matches has already been one of the stars of the show. But the guy is taking on is pretty much the bigger star of this show ever since he started 3 weeks ago, when he played many matches with Ginter, winning 1 and losing another. That became the inspiration that brought 2 Ugandans into Kenya, crossing the border at Busia to take Ishmael on. Then Ishmael was very clear that he did not want to play just 1 race when it was the players that were Ibra and Dog City around. He wanted to play 2 or 3 races a day, which the Ugandans were not giving him. They wanted to play 1 at a time. That's why they got Ian Kazibe as backup, who has also played 4 races of his own with Ishmael. And then the Tanzanian team came for more action. That had 5 snipers player. That also had Joseph Kasozi follow them all the way through. And as I speak, Jerry and Eshka are getting inspiration from what is happening in Kenya. They are racing in Harare thereafter. They will also fly into Kenya to have a rematch of their action somewhere in Kenya next week on Tuesday. And yes, the Zambian star Kelvin Fikoti is also in the mix because he arrives in Nairobi tomorrow. There's also been ladies action happening with the Ugandan Julie playing 6 matches against 6 Kenyan lady players, winning them all. She may be joined by another Ugandan who is called Michelle, who sometimes commentates along myself. This time she's coming for table action against Kenya female players, but also you'll be getting to hear her in the commentary booth. This has been Ishmael losing his pattern. Of course, there was a cut between white and red, which was relatively big. His intention was to drift the cue ball into a yellow, for the yellow to be played into the red, move the red to the corner pocket top left, which was always going to be difficult. Maybe he may have to cut the red very, 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 very sharp, even to stand a chance, but the cut is quite sharp, quite unlikely. Remy Kipkemo is asking why no Kenyan in this, no money matches. You know, Kenyans have been playing money matches and there was one victory, a major one. Oops, my goodness. I have to tell you, maybe for this year, I have never seen a cut that sharp. The die had got himself in trouble and has gotten himself out of the same trouble. Wow, 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 wow. It was possible, but absolutely difficult. The chance to cut that red in was almost by playing it to miss. And yet Ish has gotten it in. However, he still has his work because if he doesn't put the black, highly likely Dollar will, because his frame is looking finishable. And unfortunately, Ishmael fouls. The very sharp cut of the black will now count for nothing, because the frame is going to be won by Dollar. It was not a foul, Karen Green. You may visit the YouTube stream, which can allow you to play backwards. The shot was quite legal. In any case, if he had played his opponent's ball first, there was no way he was putting the last red on the table. It is now Dollar to win the frame by putting the last yellow. Move the cue ball maybe off 2 cushions. 1, 2. How close can it be to the black? Close enough. Has choice to put either to the side pocket on the right or corner pocket top right. But he played with a little too much power, too much spin, and is making his work a little difficult, but still finishable. Just that it's a little bit of pressure, which is normal in a race to 21 for $3,000. But Dollar goes for the corner pocket top right. He aims and aims and aims and aims. Again, focus, concentration, and pot. Ishmael 18 and Dollar 17.
Sasa tuondoke mazima baba. Sasa hapo ndo mazima. Sahi kabisa.
When you want to see Dollar's strengths, give him a rail drive. Give him that kind of weight. Give him the position of that red when he needs to the corner pocket and it's a rail drive. He can do whatever he wants. He can play stop shot. He can have the cue ball bounce off the cushion. He can play it with big spin to avoid the yellows, which is quite critical here. He will never ever miss the pot. This one he has gotten me used. This time round, for the first time and a very critical time, the Tanzanian has gotten it wrong. Maybe he played too much spin. It hampered his target in trying to get himself not snookered. What a chance for Ishmael to make it 19, to come within 2. He first has to make it count, has to pot. As he contemplates a move Just look at the yellow, which is close to the cushion at the bottom. He will have to play it just against the rail to the corner pocket where there is the black pocket that is at the right. That's why he may perhaps need the cue ball at the bottom left end of the table, drawing it backwards but leftwards, just like that. He may have gotten himself snookered though, because he played it into the red. The cue ball is partly within the jaw. I just think so. Ishmael is in trouble here. He has choices of ball support for a matter of recovery. He may bring the cue ball exactly where it was. He has the choice either to put yellow to the side pocket on the right first, but the idea is to bring back the cue ball to the position where almost Abdullah's red is. He also has the choice to play it now. Why not? Because it is cuttable. Maybe at the end of the day it is the safer shot. It has to be big backspin. Even it doesn't look direct. It is just my opinion. If you look at the yellow in relation to white, the yellow, that is the will be bad ball. It is playable. Even with a sharp cut, after all, if it gets in, there are two insurance balls which are both in space that he can put and then win the frame. He's choosing otherwise. Let's see how this will go. Again into the red. This time he puts and has full sight of the yellow to play it by rail drive to the corner pocket bottom right. He can play it direct or off the black, but has to be play top spin. The cue ball follows the yellow all the way. With Ishmael, the die-hard South Africa, now having to put the last yellow on the pool table to the corner pocket top right for him to win a 19th. And there he goes. This one is for the memory for South Africa, for Zimbabwe, for the die-hard to try. And yes, tries hard to win hard. He's getting a very, very, very necessary timeout after a very, very, very well-won frame. The two-frame cushion is regained. It is Ishmael 19 and Hussein 17.
money. Don't worry. I've already made them dizzy. You just pumping machine. Sorry? Just pump machine. Just pump Come on, bro. Come on. Fight, fight. Short, bro, short. Make sure Mazambani, come on, mate. Only this damn boy. Oh, yeah, I've already made them dizzy. Mazambani, I've already made them dizzy. You just pumping machine.
Now, dear viewers, this match has a maximum of 4 more frames to play. Unfortunately, Abdullah Hussein must win them all or else succumb to the loss of 3 of the 7,000 spots that he has so far collected from Ishmael. It is the Tanzanian now on 17 and the South African Zim on 20. I can now assure you that both Ibrahim Sejemba and Jackson Stephen from Uganda and Tanzania respectively are at the venue ahead of their showdown that is coming up after this. But first, we may be witnessing one more clearance from Ishmael Mtetwa, which if he does, to clear and win the frame, will be marking the very first time ever since the start of the tour that will be winning 3 money matches in a row. Remember, yesterday he was victorious against the Tanzanian, that is Amadeus, and then 2 days ago he was here is having now just one tricky yellow as he closes the table. That is the one that is touching red near the top end of the table. There was something safer. Now he has to play with power. Play yellow into red, red into yellow, pot yellow, then play the yellow he's playing in space. How good will it be? A little bit lucky, but very effective. This one is now highly likely to be the last clearance of the day from the South African. He's getting closer and closer and closer to $3,000 with now 3 yellows on the table, with a promise of 5 money matches between ISHMAEL and ABDULLAH, with 2 down, or both of them having been won by ABDULLAH. The third is clearly on the verge of being won by ISHMAEL. All he needs is roll yellow on the left to the corner pocket, bottom left. The cue ball can remain anywhere. He can manipulate it as well as good can be. Needing now to put yellow to the corner pocket, bottom right. Manipulate the cue ball somehow to put black to the same corner pocket. Is about to play yellow. Better still, play with precision and then play the black by rail drive to the corner pocket top right where there is the red. Either will do. He's going for the latter option. The existence of the red makes the pocket look even bigger. ISHMAEL versus the black to the corner pocket top right of the red for the victory. It's done. There we go, dear viewers. The always jubilant ISHMAEL, who gets the crowd to their feet when he wins, gets them to the crowd to the feet yet again, with the final score of 21 frames to 17.
Mogesha, the microphone is this side. The microphone is here.
Come. What are you saying?
Say it out, ISHMAEL.
I told them yesterday that I want the car to remain in Kenya. This is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Don't worry.
This is the third match. ABDULLAH promised you 5.
Yeah, we have 3 more races to go. Me and Dula, we are married. He says I'm the wife. It's okay. Let me be the wife. We'll see at the end.
Then tomorrow, what do you have in plan?
Tomorrow, Saif said he wants to play me. Then maybe tomorrow I can play Dula also. But Saif said he wants to play me tomorrow, so I can play one of them.
There are other guys who are coming for you. Kelvin, Eshka, Jerry. Are you ready, ISHMAEL?
With that, we'll see when they get here. I want to deal first with Dula. I want to deal with Dula first. I want to finish my deal with Dula, then I say next.
All right, enjoy your win.
Thank you, Papa. Thank you.
Hey, Peter, come.
Hey, don't be greedy. Even me, I want Dula. Don't be greedy. We share.
No.
Yes.
What do you want to say, Ginte?
Me, I want Dula. So we share, me and this
No,
man.
I cannot
You fucking
share.
my fucking. We share. Come on, man.